Okay, so we're now live. I think it's just us in here, but hey, okay, hey everybody. This is episode 2 of Lit Bitches. Let's start out by introducing ourselves. So I'm Amanda, the author. We have ladies.
Katrina and Lewis here at Katrina Writes _ I know it's not in the name, but that's where you can find me.
Hi, I'm Khaila Gentle. You can find me at Gentle Writes on Instagram.
Wonderful. Okay, so let's go with our first topic, which was BIPOC Vampire Day happened, was it last weekend?
Yes.
Let's talk about it, because how fun was that? It was so much fun.
That was so much fun. I lived for you guys' looks. Like, you don't even understand. I was waiting, because there's like a time difference here between each of us. So I was like, all right, I know Amanda's PST, and I know, I was like, well, so when are we posting? I was like up watching my phone. Like, that was just so much fun.
Oh my gosh, it was. All of us killed it, I think.
I wasn't even expecting it. Like, you guys just popped up on my timeline, and I was like, ooh, okay.
Yes, that was, the hardest part for me was getting the teeth. Mm-hmm. They kept falling out. At one point, I almost swallowed one of them because it was I didn't use like denture. A lot of other people, the trick was the denture stuff. Mm-hmm. I used what came with it, which was like those little pearl thingies. Mm-hmm. So I had to keep putting them in. And at one point, I was trying to do my lipstick, and then it fell, and I was like,
oh my gosh,
in my mouth to try to grab the thing out. It worked.
And you looked great.
Yeah.
But that was why I didn't buy the teeth, because I was terrified of that happening. And they were like, oh, you got to use like the denture stuff or like putty. I was like, nah, I'm not putting that in my mouth. Like, I'm going to be stuck and I'm going to be walking around with two fangs hanging out of my mouth for this live. Like, it was just not
I was worried too that it was going to get stuck, because on the instructions, it was like, just take your tongue and press it against the thing and just wiggle it. And I was like,
I attempted trying to file down an acrylic nail and using that, but it was so last minute that, first of all, none of them were identical. And then me and my friend were like, okay, so how are we gonna stick this on our teeth? And she tried to use I think lash glue, not realizing that it's black.
Gosh.
So when we put it on our teeth, it was just like a black spot. So we're like, you know what? Just put some blood on your lips and that's fine. We don't need fangs.
It worked. Hey, the whole thing was like your individual take on vampires, and so I think doing, going fangless could be your take.
Exactly. Yeah, because I just did a face. Right, I didn't get I don't think I had any blood. No. I did my eyes red, and I didn't have any fangs. I was like, I ain't got no fangs, I ain't got no blood, but we're gonna make it look vampy.
You were serving it.
Thank
you. You made it to the hashtag, like the top in the hashtag.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was scrolling through, and I think you both did. I was scrolling through, and I saw you two. I saw one of my other friends, and I was like, my girl's out here showing up.
We made it.
Okay, we accomplished.
Katrina, is that your merch?
Oh yes, this is my shirt. I wear it all the time. Where Black Girl Magic lives and the adventure begins. Oh, let me turn the right way.
You better promote that.
Yes, please.
Scoop back. Give the full fantasy.
So short. I'm trying to push myself up. But yeah, these are my shirts. It's kind of like just what I live by. Like when I write, the worlds I create, the people, I want to support. So yeah, I sell these shirts where Black Girl Magic lives and adventure begins. So if you're interested, let me know.
I need to get one of those.
I got you, girl. I got you. Just let me know your size.
Internationally?
I don't. I do, and I don't, but I got you.
we're gonna work this out after
We're gonna work this out.
Take this offline. It's I got mine when I got her a copy of the book. It is so comfortable, and I'll wear it with like my combat boots, like the jean jacket, because I got it longer.
I wear mine all the time. Like, you wear your own merch? I say, yes, I am. This is a comfy shirt. I'm going to put it on. Thanks.
I have coffee mugs with my book cover on it, and I'll just sit there and drink.
Yes.
And I'd be like out at my day job, just sitting there drinking with my book cover on it. Like, I hope you notice. On purpose.
Right. On purpose. Because it's completely done on purpose, right? Like, I have a book. Yes.
Yeah.
It is available on
holding
Amazon.
it like this. Like, so what's up next, everybody?
Yeah.
What's on the agenda?
Yes. So now that we have gotten BIPOC Vampire Day out of the way, what other kind of days do we want to do? There's been Black Fae Day. I saw a lot of people like excited about different things. I posted in a couple groups, and I'm curious what y'all would want to do for the next national, international, whatever kind of dress up day.
I'm a big so when I grew up, I was like, I'm such a Disney fan. So like, I want Black Princess Day.
Oh my God.
Like my heart. I just want to be a princess.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to see. It's pretty oh, of course she's gonna say princess, but I just, I want to see Black Princess Day.
I personally I want to see I know that cosplaying is a thing, but I just want a day dedicated to Black cosplayers, especially recently with the whole TikTok thing where people keep trolling Black cosplayers and going oh, but this character isn't Black and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, well let's have a Black cosplayer day, and just show out
that whole thing. Oh, this character isn't Black. Like that. Like, are you missing the complete point of cosplay? Like, are you serious? Like that you just missed the entire point and decided.
Hey girl.
Hey. Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah, I agree on that. I don't like it, especially because it's very echoing when they do a movie adaptation of something and they cast somebody Black or brown or any other kind of person of color in that role, and then people get upset about it. Like, this character is supposed to be, and it's kind of like, but
right,
they got the role. I think would be cool to do a Black Witch Day. I'm biased because I write witches.
Yes.
And I think maybe just horror, any kind of horror. So if you want to be a ghost or a demon or anything like that. But people had some really good ideas, and some of the groups I posted in diverse books with magic. A lot of people. Somebody said steampunk. Somebody said
I like that.
Gods. Yeah, somebody said gods and goddesses.
Oh my God,
and I was like,
I will be here. Don't get my little heart started.
Yes, right.
I'm here for all of that.
I would love. I think the gods and goddesses would be cool. And I was like, "Where's Winnie? Where's Winnie at? Is she gonna come through for this? Is she gonna be I'm gonna show all y'all?" I think that's what it would be for each of our things. It would be oh, there's a dragons, Katrina. The day is yours. And Khaila, same thing for you, right? You with your Pantheon. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Right. You gotta bring your A game. And the pressure is on.
when I'm gonna start putting out all these gods and goddesses, and I'm like, okay, you guys can cosplay them now. You can,
Wouldn't just give it such a oh my goodness moment. We're gonna speak it into the universe that you get so big one day that people are cosplaying your characters, what you created. Amanda, if I was someone cosplaying Mercury,
oh my goodness,
fall out.
I would probably just lay on the ground and then not sit up and do anything. You know, in that movie Lilo and Stitch where she's laying under the bed and then put the music on? That would probably just be me. Not because I'm sad. I just would not know what to do with myself. Because it's I peaked. People are dressing up as my characters.
That is just
I'm patiently waiting to see you guys' book.
I'm sorry, Khaila, go ahead.
I'm just saying I'm patiently waiting to see you guys' books on the movie screens, you know.
I'm waiting for all for us because we're gonna get into it because this is one of our topics, but I'm speaking that to this is for all of us because it is
Yeah, and especially Khaila, after you told us what your book is going to be, like, don't act like that's not going to be the perfect movie too,
right?
No,
I will.
Don't worry.
We learned some stuff.
I close my eyes sometimes and I'm like, okay, someday.
Yes, speak it into existence. Yes, it will be.
Over here thinking of playlists and shit. Like when I'm like trying to go to sleep, I'm like, so this is what the playlist will be. Who will I cast? What writers are going to be in the writers' room?
I do that too.
Well, I think we have some pretty good ideas of what our next dress up day would be. I don't know how those get started. I think somebody just starts the hashtag maybe, and then it gets popularity or traction. So maybe that's
a good one.
Yeah. Maybe we should.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, you could probably just like post it in the Facebook groups that we're in and stuff, and you know.
Make a graphic, pump the word out.
Yeah, look at so everybody here listening, watching, you're hearing it first. We're over here conspiring on where our next dress up day is gonna be. Hey Montrez, how you doing?
Hey.
So we're over here conspiring on what the next dress up day should be for Black people, BIPOC people, and I vote witches.
Yes.
Or like some kind of, magic wielding being, because people might say wizard or warlock or whatever. What about y'all?
When you said gods and goddesses, I leaned that way. But it would really be cool to, I don't know. I don't know now. You gave me too many options. Then we talk about my Gemini background. Like I'm a Sagittarius and I got the Gemini moon, the Gemini. I cannot make these decisions. Don't leave it up to me.
No, when you said Black Witch Day, all I have in my head now is Prudence from Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Oh my God.
I need Black Witch Day vibes here. Yes. Do you know how many people will be dressing up as Prudence? And I'm here for it.
Prudence was epic. I loved Prudence. I didn't finish the show. I know what happens, but Prudence was just hands down one of my favorite characters. Like that whole show was just good. I did not expect that to be that way. So now that you say Prudence, okay, we can do Black Witch Day. I like it.
I think everyone's in agreement about Black Witch Day. So now says Black Witch Day, please. So, you know.
Yes. The tribe, the council has spoken. The witch council has spoken, and it's going to be Black Witch Day. We're making it a thing.
Yes, we're going to do this.
Okay, let's give some love for Prudence and Bonnie. Bonnie from Vampire Diaries. Yes. We would be remiss without showing Bonnie some love.
Yes.
And also, I'm assuming I think Vampire Diaries as well, that it was a good show, and then we all know what happens there.
I think Tasia said, Tasia, are you talking about Sabrina or Vampire Diaries? She said it started good, then it went crazy. Sabrina did get it got a little dark. I was like, oh.
Well, in the Vampire Diaries, we can do a whole show. I think we should probably do a whole show where our topics are just shows that let us down.
Yeah.
So she says Sabrina was the one that started going crazy.
Agreed. So, yeah.
Okay. So we're going to start this hashtag, everybody who's in here and everybody who watches this later, because there'll probably be people who catch the replay.
Yes.
Hashtag Black Witch Day. We're going to start it, spread it around. Let's make it a thing, because we need this to be, I want to dress up as this. And also, but we don't talk about Vampire Diaries. Here, because they did Bonnie all the way wrong on that.
Yeah, completely dirty.
So, our next topic is what is it? Publishing.
Yes.
You know, and the issues with publishing. So this is an article. I'm sure by now everybody's heard. It's a New York Times article that came out last December that found that bestsellers by white authors within the last 50 years, only a very small fraction of them were written by people of color, and an even smaller fraction of that were written by Black authors. And in 2018, according to this, just 11% of books in 2018 were written by people of color. And, this article goes into the hashtag publishing paid me, which, if y'all remember, was, a lot of authors, traditionally published authors, were talking about their advances, the things that they, compared to white authors, and even white authors who, were allies or whatever, were chiming in with their advances, just, in the sake of transparency.
Right.
So, as Black authors, as Black women authors, right? And Khaila and I, as Black women queer authors, there's a lot of ish that we go through. So I thought we'd talk about this, since we haven't really gotten to weigh in on this topic, and talk about some of the things that we've experienced along on our publishing journey. So what do y'all think?
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's really it can be disheartening and really frustrating. I was actually having this conversation not too long ago with Charlotte Murphy, Girl Charlie author. She's amazing. And it was just, we ended up having to change the topic because it was so disheartening. We were talking about Black books, and I looked up, I can't remember what the book I searched. I'm like, wow, they have this many reviews. Excuse me. And she was like, oh, that's kind of small in comparison to another author, a white author. I was like, I said, let me check, let me see. When I say the white author's book had 10 times the reviews and probably the buys than what I thought the Black author was succeeding with, it was insane. Like, it was like 750 versus like 25K. So yes, yeah. The issue, I know, it stems from the idea of like anti-Blackness, that somehow Black stories aren't marketable. Black stories are specific to Black people in some way, which there's nothing wrong with that. Other authors are able to tell stories that are specific to them and their culture in their way. But yeah, it's just, I don't even know. I don't even have anything else to say, but that is just so disheartening. And I think about, like, well, what can we do about it? And one of the things that we did just do about it was what we did just a few seconds ago or a few minutes ago, was when we talked about we're going to push the idea for Black Witch Day. So, like, push these ideas that Black people can be whatever the hell we want to be. We could tell our stories. People will, there's an audience for this. Like, yeah. So what we can do is what we just did. Pushing our ideas, keep writing what we're all doing. We're all writers, we're all readers. We all have buying, we have spending power. Spend with people who look like you, spend with people who don't look like you, spend with people who have a different background than you have. And that'll hopefully, like, start to wake the media up. Like, we need to change this. Because it's not surprising, like Montrez just said, but it's so disheartening. To know that as a woman of color, as a Black woman, as an author who wants not only Black people to read my story, I want everyone to enjoy it. Just because the characters are Black doesn't mean a white female can't enjoy it. Doesn't mean, someone who, I don't know, is Asian can't enjoy it. A story is a story. So why is race such a big deal?
Yeah.
So yeah, those are my thoughts.
Well
How about
said.
Yeah, that's very
Absolutely.
very well said. Yeah. It like this, and the crazy thing is that we've come such a long way, but we still have so far to go.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
for me, growing up, I don't think I ever read many books by people that look like me.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, I think I can say the moment I fully believe that I could become a writer as a person of color, and I can write characters that look like me and characters that have experiences like me was when I was in the bookstore and I saw the cover of Children of Blood and Bone by Tome
Yeah.
Adeyemi. That was that was like 3 years ago. That
Yes.
was very recently, and like
Mm-hmm.
that was the moment when I finally at last realized, like, okay, people like me can do it. Like it's still gonna be
Yeah.
hard, but we're getting there, hopefully. But we do need to put in a lot more work. And
Mm-hmm.
it yeah, like the importance of inclusivity and the importance of diversity, it's
Mm-hmm.
something that we definitely still need to like push a lot harder.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. And I think for other people, right, looking at these numbers can be surprising. And by other people, I mean like non-black people, non-people of color. It can be very surprising that, you know, the statistics that we know of. But for us, it's not surprising, right? Like we know, I think even before this report came out, we knew it. And when the report came out, I remember everybody that was black or for a person of color was like,
Right.
yep,
We've been
I,
saying this.
we've been new, you know? And so
Yeah.
I think it's that, it's also, as everybody says, you know, putting ourselves out there, investing in our own community, investing in people who look like you, you know, and it's also for me, like when I give books as a gift, I always try to make sure that I'm giving a book that is written by like an author of color. And it might sound weird, but for me, it's like, I think for so long, people's go-to is a bestseller by a white author, and that's cool and all. But I want to show and like give the gift of these books that I love by authors that I love. Oh, sorry. By authors that I love and authors that, you know, look like us and whatnot to show that support, because I think then you can end up turning other people on and putting people on to the importance of reading, you know,
Yeah.
um, reading these kind of books. And I think that the one thing that always gets me, and I'm not sure if y'all have had this, is the idea of relatability.
Mm-hmm.
The idea that our stories somehow aren't relatable because we're black, or you know, when it's any other person of color. The idea that there has to be you can't just have black love. It has to be, you know, a black person and then somebody white, uh,
Yes.
love interest, or their friends all have to be white,
Mm-hmm.
something like that, or they should aspire for whiteness.
Mm-hmm.
Or that when you have a black character, they're lighter skinned.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, and I say that as I know I'm light skinned, but like that should not be the norm.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's unfortunate that that is for so many people, that they feel like that's a safe option. And I'm tired of that. Like show the broad spectrum
Yeah.
of blackness, of black love, of black people, black friendships, relationships, and things like that. And it's so important to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't yet gotten any reviews with people talking about not having that relatability, but have y'all gotten any reviews from people who felt like they couldn't connect to your work because you're writing about black stories?
I don't think I have necessarily. It's more so like that double consciousness thing where I kind of like I can like feel it, or like I know it's coming kind of thing, where people just feel like they can't relate because my characters are black, or someone in the story has to be light, or someone has to be white for it to be relatable to the masses. And again, that's unfortunate. And on a macro level, just like on a level beyond like the masses, these corporations like start hiring diverse people. Like the studies show, when you have diverse people on your team, you do better, you sell more. Like you need to put us in these positions where we can push stories with people who look like us, and also diversify the stories we are telling about people who look like us.
Yes.
Because, for example, if it's a romance, you know, the black couple may be fairer, and then, you know, if it's urban, they're potentially darker. Which I was happy to see that on Netflix there's a new movie. Is it called? I forget what it's called, but it's a romance, and it stars Kofi Cerebo and another young lady. She's of like a browner hue, which was great to see. But yes, I haven't had anyone said it to me like up front, but I know like that's a barrier of like when people see my characters like, oh, they're all black. Like, yeah, like what's wrong with that? Your book has all white people. I mean, what's the difference? Are we telling the same story?
Yeah, and I think like speaking of the different types of stories, one of the frustrating things, because I think I remember reading this article and finding that of the books that hit the bestseller list that were written by, you know, Black and brown and other POC people, it was a lot of them were like nonfiction books that were like memoirs or books that were kind of about like how to teaching white people not to be racist.
Right.
And while those books are important and they have a place, I would like to live in a world where when I see like a New York Times bestseller list, a lot of the books that are on there are not just written by Black people, specifically for white people. Like fantasy books, Black romance, Black horror. I mean, horror. Like
you just brought up, like how I don't mean to cut you off, but I didn't even think of that. How even on the bestseller list, it's a Black story, but for the white gaze. It's about it's still about like teaching white people to do. That's a really good point. So yeah, I'm sorry. Continue. I just wanted to make that up.
Yeah. Like. And it's frustrating, but I think this is also why we're writing, right? Is to be those people to break down those barriers and put out our stories and you know, our friends who are here in the comments, putting out our work, you know, and making sure that we're telling those unique and different stories across the diaspora. You know, and I feel like it's such a good time. And I want to highlight this comment from one of our viewers here. As a white writer, I've been working on reading more Black fiction because there's so much out there, but I feel there's never enough promotion in the traditional publishing world. Thank you for your comment. I would say I can see that for sure. I think it's usually like, you know, kind of there's only one. We're only letting 1 or 2 books in this year that they're going to focus on and promote. And then, you know, and then that's it. Meanwhile, there's so many other great and wonderful books out there being written that just don't get the same kind of shine. Is that what y'all's experience is as well?
Yeah. And that just makes me think, I want to let Khaila speak. I'm talking my head off, y'all. But it makes me think about the Emmys. How, you know, there was this historic number of Black and brown people nominated, but like two people won, and that was it. It was almost like, you know, you can't have both. You get the nominations, but you can't get. It's kind of like, come on, like, are you serious?
It's like a pendulum swing, because last year Zendaya won, and then Yahya Abdul-Mateen won, and then I think other people color won. So it was kind of like, shit, we gave you your stuff.
Yeah, it was like that year was enough.
Yeah. Khaila, what are your thoughts on this?
It's definitely like it's crazy because like sorry. But essentially even me coming from a small Central American country, I I haven't put a work of fiction out there yet, but I definitely have found myself having to unlearn certain thought processes, because for me, when I was writing my stories, even though I wasn't sharing them with anyone, I still felt like, okay, if I write this character, this character has to be mixed, because if she's not mixed, then no one's gonna relate to her, no one's gonna want to read my story. And even feeling like I have to fit into a certain niche as a Caribbean writer, but in reality, like, I want to write like the outlandish fantasy and sci-fi stories. And like I said before, like, I didn't know that I could do that until I saw other people doing it, you know, like Marlon James and Cadwell Turnbull and those people. And like, when you mentioned the Emmy thing to me, like, it was another one of those disappointed but not surprised moments, which says a lot. You know, like, it keeps happening and we're just here like, well,
right.
Like, you can't even be surprised. And like, I don't like, I want to be surprised in that, you know, they do something different and they give us what we're due, in a sense, you know. I'm sorry if I'm rambling, by the way.
No, you're not.
You're doing great.
Yeah, like, it's definitely disheartening to see that it's 2021, you know. But yeah.
Yeah, I think the Emmys bring that up is a good point as well, because this extends not just because we're all authors that want to have our works on TV, in movies as well, and I think a lot of other authors potentially here in the chat as well see that for themselves or re-see that for their work. Right. And so, you know, the idea of, hey, I want to put my book out there, I want it to be consumed by the masses in a visual medium, but if it's good enough, will it even get that recognition? Will it even get that kind of promotion? And I think it's unfortunate because I, for the Emmys, was especially rooting for like MJ Rodriguez to win for Pose. I was rooting Issa Rae, rooting for Ray Black, right? So, and it was wonderful to see Michaela Cole win, and I loved her speech. I'm not sure if you all heard it, but she was, you know, it was like a speech for writers and talking about how, you know, in our day and age, visibility somehow equates to success. Don't be afraid to disappear and then see what you come back with. And it was really inspirational. And I'm glad she got to have her moment and looked stunning.
Yes,
she did.
Breathtaking, honestly. So it's wonderful, but yeah, I feel like the condition of being Black and brown and, you know, other POC, like, in America, is to be like disappointed but not surprised, right? Like we're talking about, it's just a constant BIPOC default to be disappointed, not surprised.
Yeah.
I want to highlight a couple comments here. So Montrez, Khaila, this one's for you. She said she had a mentor tell her that she had too many Black people POC in a story early on in her writing.
Oh, wow.
Only no one would want to read it, and she should only put one. Wow, that's really
wow. I hope you got rid of that mentor, Montrez.
Yeah.
Bad.
Seriously.
Yeah.
That is so ridiculous, because it's like, is there just one or two Black people in the world? Like, is that what you're saying? Like,
well, I think it's like speaking about unlearning those behaviors. I think, I don't know if anybody else has had it. I'm going to highlight Keisha popping in here. Hey, Keisha, because I know we've specifically spoken about this too, is that and I think this was a question in our group, Diverse Books with Magic, the idea that when did you start writing Black characters? Even as somebody Black, when did you start writing Black characters? Because I think for some of us, it's you're writing the character and either you don't factor in what race they are, or you write them white as kind of the default because that's what the default has been for so many books.
Right.
And then having to consciously make that decision to switch over to writing Black and POC characters. Did that happen for y'all, or was it just a default to always write Black characters?
Yeah, that was my experience as well, and I think it was in one of those groups as well. I think it was Black Girls Belong in Sci-Fi and Fantasy. That group. Someone asked a question like that, and my mind was blown that so many of the women in that group had that same experience as me, where they started off writing characters that weren't Black. Like I would, you would describe them as, she had long flowing hair with rosy skin and stuff like that, because that was the default. And I to this day I'm still amazed that so many of us share that experience.
Yeah,
I know for me, mine was a little bit of the opposite, or a lot of the opposite. When I was young, I tell this story all the time. When I was younger, I didn't really like to read because I felt like I didn't see myself in the books. Like, I can remember just like Twilight when that was the thing. That was my era. It was right after Harry Potter. And I was just like really into the vampy stuff and the werewolves, and what else was I reading? I was reading all kind of fantasy, and I was just like, there are no Black people. Like, what is going on? And I remember I went to my dad and I was like, Dad, like, what? Why is this a thing? And he was like, well, if you want to change it, you got to be the one to write it. And literally, like, took that and ran with it. Like, ever since I started writing, like, my characters have always been Black. Like, unless I was tasked with writing someone white, like creative writing class or something like that, like, I was legit like, nah, like, I need these characters to be Black. I want them to do fantastical things in these fantastical settings. Like, fuck what you heard. Like,
that's right.
But as I got older, I realized how hard it is to push those narratives, to tell those stories, because of, racism and racist ideology. But again, I don't want us to get like swamped in the feeling of like just describing the nature of which we drown. I had a mentor tell me that before. What can we do about it? And again, going back to, you have spending power, like your dollar, and particularly in the United States, capitalist economy, your dollar means everything. So spend with independent authors, spend with Black authors, promote your, POC creatives, like just push it. Put it, if you don't think you qualify for a job with, I don't know, HBO, put in for it anyway. Because all that really matters. It really helps. It could be that one person in the boardroom saying, well, you know what, we need to be telling this story, not this one. Or, that one person, like, when I had a job, I used to work for a chamber of commerce here in Philly. My boss, he was like, he grew up in the same neighborhood I did. And usually, there could be like zip code bias and stuff too. But he said when he saw it as opportunity to give someone from a neighborhood that he was from, a chance to gain skills and to network and XYZ. So yeah, we can definitely do stuff about it. And let's do good stuff about it.
Comment for you. And yeah, I absolutely agree. I think so. Some resources for the people who are watching, if you want to support Black authors. All three of us are Black authors. There are a couple authors in the chat that we've highlighted. Keisha McIntyre. I feel like I keep pronouncing your last name wrong. Montrez here as well.
Agent Words.
Charlie Murphy. A good resource is the Melanin Library. It is hosted by, if you follow her on Instagram, Written in Melanin, a lovely, wonderful woman named Chelsea Lockhart. And she highlights, I think most of our books are in the Melanin Library. And it's just type that in, the Melanin Library. You can find both independent and traditionally published works by Black authors specifically. And that can be your go-to if you are looking to diversify your reading list or find other authors, or if you are an author and you are Black, to get your book in there. Highly recommend, and I would start there. That's one good resource for everybody. Keisha says, the first book with a Black character I remember loving is Their Eyes Were Watching God, but I did not read that until high school. That's a classic.
Yes,
yeah.
It's a classic.
I think for me, so, in my books, my main characters are Black. So in my series, Mercury, he is a Black man, and I wanted to have a magical Black man because I wanted to also provide that representation. But I write, and I wanted to show for my mother, who grew up as a darker skinned Black woman, loving fantasy. The woman loves Anne Rice. This is where I get my obsession with vampires from. And for her to not see herself or anybody represented in these books, I wanted that for her. And I wanted, for my brother, who also loves fantasy, he loves Anne Rice, to see those kind of things as well. And so I think it's also good when you have people. That's what drives me, is writing with my friends and family and whatnot in mind, as well as myself, but them first, to give them the content that they want and they need and seriously deserve to have. Yeah. Let's see. We have some other good comments. This is, you don't really have a choice. Black writers are no longer holding back. Get with it or get lost. I know that's right.
Yeah.
I'm clapping for this comment.
Yes.
Yes, girl. So this has been a wonderful, I think we've got some really good comments. We've had some really good insight on this particular topic. And I'm very glad that we were able to speak so openly about it. And everybody who commented on this section, thank you so much. I think, we will continue as Lit Bitches to talk about these things, what it is to be Black in publishing, and also, talking about the bias against indie books and how that can compound all of the things that we're talking about, and then we're talking, as indie authors, like what that looks like. So, more to come on that. Switching gears here, I'm gonna talk about some of our work, some of the things that we have going on. First, let's do a quick, I'm putting you on the spot, Khaila. I don't think you thought I was gonna bring this up.
Me.
Belated birthday.
Happy birthday!
Her birthday is on the 20th. We would be remiss if we didn't bring it up and give her some birthday love. So let's sing you a happy birthday. Do you want like a Stevie Wonder happy birthday to you, or you want classic like happy birthday to you?
You surprised me. Oh my God. Thank you so much, though.
I
did not expect you to bring it up.
Hey, I remember this shit. I love celebrating people. I love celebrating people's birthdays. As my friend, y'all got to get used to it. I will remember these things.
Yes.
So if you don't want that, just bleep it.
Just send it.
Don't tell me shit. So let's do just a regular, basic happy birthday. Let's start. Katrina, you and I. 1, 2, 3. Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday. Oh wait, the delay isn't working.
See, this is what happens. This is why we should be doing the Stevie Wonder version. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya.
Happy birthday to you.
There you go. Happy birthday. Love
Love you guys. Oh my God.
And look, you got a lot of birthday love. I'm about to put these on the screen and show you all your birthday love that you're getting here.
Thank you so much.
And, we've got people loving our singing. Look at us. Look at us. We should go on tour.
Yeah, you should.
Delay and everything.
That's our name. Delay and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
okay. It. I love it.
Let's write that down, put it on a post-it.
This is just the night of ideas.
Yes, that's what the episode will be called. The one with all the ideas. Okay, so what is happening? So your birthday, Katrina is working on her sequel. How is that going? Tell us what's up.
It is going. I finished the first act, so I am pushing through, trying to edit it all to move on to the second act. But it's coming along. It's coming along. Hopefully, I got some more snippets and stuff, coming for social
Okay.
media pretty soon. I hope to
So,
get the cover done. Hopefully it's
ooh.
October. I'll try to get the cover done. So yeah.
So tell everybody where they can follow you to get these snippets, or and also, do you have a link to your newsletter on your Instagram?
I do. So follow me on Instagram. I am on Twitter, not super active, but I'm on there. And TikTok at Katrina Writes _. Click the links in my bio, and there you'll find everything. You'll find like 2 free short stories. One being a prequel to Heavy is the Head called The Crimson City. It's free. You can read it. One is a vampire, smutty, fun story that you can read. Yes, it's girl is good. The link to my newsletter is in there, so you can sign up. I post exclusives in my newsletter, including I dropped like the first 3 chapters to the project I'm working on after Heavy is the Head, which right now I'm calling All the Shades of the Sea. I'm supposed to be like a fun pirate story, so I'm looking forward to that too. So yeah, I got some things going on, so sign up for my newsletter, y'all.
I saw your snippet. I loved it. It made me want to learn more. So everybody, go follow her and get some good stuff. Khaila, how is your outline?
Really quick. What is today's date? September 25th. You have 5 days to what?
Oh, I'm on the spot. Okay.
Yes.
5 days until Tualaris and Desperation is out, the sequel to A Stay with Love. I actually, here's an exclusive for everybody here, because I haven't showed this off. I got the author print.
Oh my gosh, look at it.
It's
here with me. I'm trying to figure out.
It's so pretty.
All right.
Oh my God. How does it feel to hold her in your hand, your book baby?
It's so good.
Yeah.
She's thicker. Hold on, I keep trying to figure it out. So if there's more to read, thicker. It feels so good. I'm so happy. Thankfully, there's no issues. Sometimes you can get your proof back and you might have to fix things. So no issues. It feels really surreal and really nice and cool that I'll be able to like put them both on my bookshelf like side by side. It's nice. I showed my mom yesterday and she was not nearly as excited as everybody here. So I appreciate that, because my mom was like, oh, nice. So you're coming over to my house tomorrow, right? Like that's very much was a conversation.
That's a mom for you, yeah. She's like, oh yeah. But then probably to all her friends and the neighbors, my baby wrote a book, y'all gonna buy it?
Yes. To me, she's like, oh, your little book looks cute. Right? Always got to add that little in
Not
there.
the little.
So, But then to everybody else, she'd be like, girl, I saw Amanda's book. My baby's in the book. It's seriously. Yes, it'd be your own family. Truly.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you, everybody. I am so excited. I can't wait for y'all to read it.
We can't wait either.
Yes.
And thanks for putting me on the spot. I was like gonna sneak it in, but y'all were just like, no.
No. The time is now.
So y'all got 5 days before it goes live on Amazon, right? Are you it's going to be on Amazon?
Yes, primarily Amazon. It is going wide. It will be in the Melanin Library. So as we discussed earlier, you can go there to support a Black author here and other Black authors. So 5 days, super excited. I feel like, and this leads us into our next kind of topic of looking back on, so this is my second book that I'm publishing, and there were definitely things that I avoided, some mistakes I avoided that I made the first go around this time. But there are definitely other mistakes I made, things I'm still learning, right? I think we all are. And so I wanted to find out, because I've been thinking on this lately a lot, the things that I wish I knew before I ever published. Like what things I wish I knew before becoming a published author. For me, I think the biggest thing was like getting my social presence down and promo down before I became an author. Because before I really started taking things seriously, I would like post on Instagram like once every couple of days. I was seriously a lurker, and I would randomly post, hey, I'm doing a book thing, but I wasn't really taking it seriously until maybe 2 months or so before I actually, maybe 2-3 months before I actually published Astera. So I think that for me is the biggest one, is really getting in that promo and like being active on social and showing myself off, showing off the book, the brand, all that a couple months ahead of time. What about y'all? Like, what's your number one that you wish you knew before you became published?
For me, it's simple and all encompassing, but so important. Don't wing it. Just make sure you have it all together before you announce the publishing day, because things can go wrong with Kindle that you have to fix, like your book cover. Oh my god. And it, like, having everything, as much as you can, everything planned, would make it so much less stressful on you. It's gonna be stressful regardless, right? But you know, like make sure you kind of have all the boxes checked, you know. So that was my major one, because I had a stressful week, publishing week. So, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And what about you, Katrina?
Yeah, Katrina, what's your?
I think I'm on the same wavelength. I think mine would be planning. My actual publishing, because girl, you know we pantsers, so like half of it I was pantsing.
See, but get with the winning team over here. Get with the plotter.
Yeah,
I'm glad. Thank you. I need some of that, Amanda. But yeah, just really making sure like I plan things out, particularly my social media. Because I still do a little bit. When you see me posting on social, that's me posting live, like in that moment, instead of like creating a graphic and everything, instead of having it, already planned out and precise what I want to say. These are the hashtags I'm using. So yeah, if I had that, settled a little better, it would have helped me not feel so. That was like the more stressful part to me than the Amazon part. The Amazon part, that went fairly well. I was just like, okay, upload it. Like everything was cool. But for me, it was like the promotion and making the graphics. I was doing things last minute, throwing them up there, trying to get the word out. So that, and I would say probably budgeting. I would make sure I do a little bit better this time, because I made a few mistakes where I was like, oh, I could have spent a little less there if I hadn't done that and did this instead. So yeah, because self-publishing can be a little expensive, especially when it comes down to the cover and different formatters and who you're reaching out to. So yeah, so definitely budgeting. I'm going to try to spend a little less than I did the first time.
Yeah, same here.
I feel that too, and I think for me, it's also like, for a plotter, my timeline, this time did not account for emergencies. I didn't build in any time for the potential of somebody not getting back to me on time, or me not being able to, review something in a certain amount of time. My editor lives in Louisiana, and so when the hurricane, I think it was like Hurricane Ida, came in, it knocked out her power for like a week. Wow. So I ended up getting my edits back later, and I had to push my publishing date, because initially it was supposed to be out on the 21st, and now it's coming out on the 30th. So I think it would be to next time to be more, to give myself more of a buffer.
Yeah.
Maybe like a week or even two between when I want things done and then, when I want my publishing date to be, so that I don't actually have to go back and then push the publishing day back and then make the announcement. Because I was like stressed and I was feeling really like, obviously I was sad I didn't want to have to push my book back, but also I was feeling a little embarrassed that I had to come, to social and be like, hey, everybody, got a delay. And nobody's like tripping about it. I didn't have anybody message me and be like, I can't believe that you had the nerve. You don't got your shit. Like nobody said that to me.
Delay this book.
But like I was saying that to me. So to prevent my inner saboteur, Khaila, my inner saboteur here, I need to make sure I give myself a buffer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody in the comments, friends, anybody tuning in? Are there any tips or things you wish you knew before you published? We'll highlight them here. I think it's also like the fun thing I wish I knew and then I could look forward to was the community, right? Finding this writing community.
Yeah.
Because I was so afraid that like I would publish and I would just be on my own little island. That has not been the case at all. The community that we have, both with y'all, other authors, a lot of them here in the chat, has been amazing, invaluable.
Definitely, yeah.
I did not think when I started to write, to write seriously and like make an author page and start to push right that the community was this freaking dope. Like, oh my gosh, even down from people I more recently met, like Khaila, you are amazing, girl. Like we met like a couple months ago and we're already like this. And then Amanda, it's like I've known you for almost 2 years now. Like, like sis, like this is like crazy. And it's still just like this community is I didn't expect it. I thought it would be my own little island and I'm completely not.
Yeah. This is a good comment, Danny, about how, having a community it helps to have reviewers and ARC readers to review your book as well. And when you form that community, you have, I think, built-in beta readers and people willing to read your book because, you're cool. Like, I think that, Khaila, I think that's how we met. Like, we were in that Five Girls Belong in Sci-Fi and Fantasy, and she agreed to beta read for me. And then we realized we had a lot of things in common, just became friends and close and whatnot.
Yeah. So I saw the cover of your book and I was like, oh my God, I need to read this.
Instantly.
Yeah.
So here we have, one thing I wish I did was have both the ebook and paperback done for release at the same time. Yes, I think that's a good tip and I definitely can feel that. Best part really is the community. You see, look, see my other homegirl over here. See, community. Look at it. Yes, because they can, when you have that community, they can put you on and you can really get a lot of good opportunities, from this community. So definitely such a good, wonderful part of being an indie author.
I also learned this. With the ARC reads, Danny just brought up something that I actually forgot about. So when I went in, I need ARC readers. I was like, yeah, I'll ship you the book. Not taking into account international shipping costs. Holy crap.
Girl.
So what I have learned is that e-arcs are just as effective as giving them the paperback.
That's what, yeah. And I did that this time because I didn't have the time to do paperback. So y'all got e-arcs. Everybody else that's, reading advanced reader copy, e-arcs all across the board. I did not do, because I'm like behind the 8 ball with this. So
it's expensive. It's hell. I was like, why did I mean, I'm thankful that I had the few international ARC readers. Like that was amazing. But when I went to ship those books,
Your budget said, girl, what?
Yes.
So we have a couple other comments from Montrez. Some good wisdom here. Oh, hold on. She said she learned not to rush. Quality over quantity, for sure.
Yes.
I definitely agree.
Yeah.
And this is a big one. And this ties back into her earlier conversation of that her, book isn't for everyone. That one's spring. See, Montrez coming over here, dropping some jewels.
Yeah.
Yes, I think this is also important as Black authors to keep in mind that our book isn't for everybody. I think because maybe there's a sense that if everybody doesn't read it, we won't be successful.
Right.
Or if I don't, excuse me, write it for the masses, then it won't be successful. But the right audience will find your book.
Yep.
And then Danny, I think this one's for you, Katrina.
Thank you, Danny.
You're getting called out.
And Danny, she helped me as much as she could. She's like, "Oh, I can pay half." Girl, thank you. Yes, that was tough.
No struggle. So, any other wisdom, any other bits of tips or tricks that we want to add here as we are about to close up, wrap up this episode in terms of writing as an indie author, as a Black indie author, or any things you wish you knew, any other parting wisdom we want to leave the girls with?
I definitely really like what Montrez said. I hope I said her name correct. About quality over quantity, because you know the inner saboteur that you mentioned. My inner saboteur has a tendency to be like, okay, why haven't you written another book yet? And it's like these things take time. You just take your time is what I would want to say.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's also going along with that whole total, in my opinion, not good advice of writing every day. If you're only a writer if you write every day, or the whole writing 2,000 words each day, and that's the thing to do.
Yeah.
I think that to me feels like more of an aspiration. It to me is an aspiration. I eventually would like to get to where I can write every day and I can write 2,000 words a day. But it's not realistic when you have a full-time job and you have relationships and you have mental health issues.
Yes.
My anxiety sometimes feels like my brain is on fire and I just I can't do it. I can't function. I can't do it all. Right in that moment. And then, as indie authors, the whole other side of it is the business side of it, the marketing, the promo, the emails, the social calendar, the budget, the Amazon ads.
Yep.
Club, bus, sleep,
another club.
Another club. Yes, it feels exactly that was good.
I would just find ways to sneak Lady Gaga in here. She's one of my favorite white ladies.
As you were saying it, that was exactly what was going through my head.
Oh my goodness. But yes to everything you just said.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I gotta find another reference, but that one is just too applicable to everything.
It is.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, what about you, Katrina? Do you have any parting words of wisdom or anything?
I think my parting words are just write your little heart out. Don't let what Montrez said really stuck with me, how she had a mentor who literally told her we have too many Black characters, take them out. We are all creatives here. Write what the hell you want to write. Like you said, the right audience will find your book and gather, your community. Reach out to your community because we're all here, all willing to support. And people who aren't shouldn't be in your community anyway. What's the point of being there? So write what you want to write, the characters you want to see, and then take it from there. Because this is about creativity. These are our passions. These are what we truly want to be doing. So why stifle yourself because of, you know, a few naysayers and what society may think is, you know, the perfect picture. Write what you want to write, and the rest will fall into place.
Yeah.
And I think one other thing I want to add is that you put yourself at a detriment when you see other authors as competition.
Yep.
Yes.
I think that there are, thankfully, I haven't met any other authors here that in my community or whatever that see each other as competition. But I know that there are people out there that see, you know, I got to do better than them, or, you know, feel like they have to compete with everybody. And I think it's kind of a function of that feeling of there can only be one.
Yeah.
Like, I know I've experienced that in my professional life. Like, there can only be one woman or one this or one that, like a checkbox. But that's not how it is.
Nope.
Like, I think that you don't set yourself up for success when you start to see other people who could be your allies, your friends, truly friends, as competition in this business. So I would say, like, that's another thing that I've learned, that I've avoided, that I would say to anybody.
There's room for everyone.
Yes, there is.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody make money here. We all about to get rich.
So then we could have like a writer's retreat somewhere and all just
Please
have fun, geek out about everything. Yes.
Yeah, I would literally fly to wherever and have that, you know.
We coming down where you at.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that you guys can come here.
I heard in your tone of voice where you were like, "Well, I'm saying I could fly, but I'm also saying that y'all should just
you guys can come here, you know."
That's where I want to go. I want to go where you are.
Just shameless plug, you know. We have beaches.
Yes.
See?
But you heard it. We're speaking it into existence. So the couple things that the lit bitches have spoken into existence is a writer's retreat.
Yes.
Obviously, down the line, not just. We gotta
down the line.
This is not something that we can pants. This is a planning thing.
So that means I am off the planning committee.
It means I'm gonna give you a little like planning dust so you could be a part of the committee.
Let's just go. Let's just
let's just go now.
And Kyle would be like, "Yeah, sure, just come down." Amanda's like, "Wait, stop."
I'm like, we need passports. We need. Also, let's all start the hashtag Black Witch Day, something like that, so that we can start getting this in rotation and actually start planning when this should be, and get some steam and get some stuff behind it, so that we can see other wonderful cosplay, because the stuff that people are doing, it's so impressive.
It is.
Yes. So I think if we don't have anything else, that concludes episode 2 of Lit Bitches. Once again, we'll lay out our social for everybody to follow. So you can follow me at Amanda the Author with 2 E's, as you see here on Instagram. This is my YouTube channel. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's Amanda the Author with 1 E, because Twitter is janky and has a character count. Let me down. Truly, that is the only reason why there is 1 E. Katrina, Khaila, what's your socials?
You can find me at Katrina Wright _. Yes, that is right. At Katrina Wright _ on Instagram, Twitter. Not super on there, but you can still check me out on Twitter. And I'm on TikTok. TikTok is really fun, so I've been working on TikTok a little bit, so you can follow me there too.
Oh, not me forgetting my TikTok.
Right.
You can Amanda the Author 2 E's on TikTok. There you go. Follow me, please, because I'm growing. I'm trying. I'm 32. I'm the oldest one here. I'm trying not to be an old lady. Okay.
No, you're not an old lady.
Follow me on TikTok. Khaila.
You can find me on Instagram at Khaila Gentle, and you can find me on Twitter and TikTok at Caribbean Blurred. You can also check out my website, kgentlewrites.com.
Yes, and stay tuned so that you can get on this book she's got planned. Because
Yes.
you all heard the last time, it's gonna be wonderful and epic, and you're gonna miss out if you don't get on.
Patiently waiting for this.
Oh, I'm impatiently waiting.
I'm impatiently waiting for your book.
No, you got 5 days.
You got 5 days.
Oh goodness. Well, good night, everybody. I hope y'all are doing well.
See
Stay safe
y'all.
on this Sunday, and we will catch y'all later. Bye.
Bye.